Now, let me bring in Miguel Tinker Salas, author of The Enduring Legacy, Oil, Culture and Society in Venezuela. He's also Professor Emeritus in the Department of History at Pomona College and joins us live from Los Angeles. Very good to have you here on the program, sir. Do you think that this operation was just about Trump wanting to get his hands on Venezuela's oil revenues?
I think there are multiple factors. Oil is a central factor. Trump mentioned it over 25 times in the press conference yesterday. But it's also about creating establishment of a U.S. dominant hegemony over Latin America. It's very clear from the national security documents that were released 2 weeks ago that this administration wants to exercise the Monroe Doctrine. They now call it the Donroe Doctrine, where the U.S. establishes hegemony and control over Latin America, its resources, and its governing bodies, very clearly also aimed at trying to exclude China, which is the dominant economic player in South America, and trying to exclude Russia as well. So there are multiple factors, but oil underlines all of them.
Yeah, as you said, he mentioned it so many times during that press conference on Saturday, talking about how he's going to send American oil companies into Venezuela now. Oil revenues, of course, make up a majority of the state's income in Venezuela. What does that mean now for how Trump plans on running the country, do you think?
It's as unclear as his statement about he will govern Venezuela when there's no boots on the ground and there's no way to control the apparatus of the state other than negotiating with the current state of Venezuela. In terms of the oil companies, what does that mean? Venezuela produces heavy crude. It requires millions of dollars of investment to produce the refinement capacity, the drilling capacity. I doubt very seriously that any American oil company is willing to invest billions of dollars to renew and remake the Venezuelan oil industry at a time when they don't have guarantees, they don't have security, and they don't have a clear vision of how this country will be governed. And Trump has not provided one.
This intervention, what do you think it means for the wider Latin American region?
Well, he made it very clear yesterday. He made it very clear, stating that today it's Venezuela, tomorrow it could be Cuba, then after that it could be Colombia, and he's keeping an eye on Mexico. So it's obvious that this is about what I mentioned earlier, trying to establish U.S. hegemony, U.S. dominance in the Western Hemisphere, where the U.S. would be the unbridled power confronting Latin America at the exclusion of every other international power.
So just looking at the situation in Venezuela and all these allegations against Maduro, both on drugs and how he treats his population, and the fact that he stayed on even though the opposition actually got more votes in the previous election, do you think that this intervention was a good thing for the people of Venezuela?
No, it's not. I don't. I think every time the U.S. has intervened in the country, the results have been disastrous. Whether it's Iraq, whether it's Afghanistan, whether it's Haiti, and now in this case Venezuela, the record of regime change and the record of nation building has been disastrous. And I don't see anything that indicates that in this case it would be any better.
All right, Miguel Tinker Salas, always good to have you on the program. Thank you so much, sir.